Whoa, guys, it's the fabled Schizo Truth Chapter 1. I made you wait so long for it. I'm just kidding. I posted the intro for it today. Let's get this on without further ado, guys. It's pretty straightforward. So, rhetoric questions. Rhetoric gets you what? Okay, so basically, dialogue exists only to progress physicality. So what this means is the only thing you're really saying anything for is to get further in life. You know, you got a dialogue to move forward. All right. So you go to the cashier, you say, "I'll take this gumball for this $1." That's it. Most speeches are meaningless. Okay. So these late night squabbles you have about apple pies and pizza pops or whatever, fucking meaningless, guys. And what isn't meaningless? Family. All right. Family, that's all that matters. So the only words that you should be speaking should mean something emotionally, okay? Your niceties, your nice words. How you doing? Do you feel good? Don't actually ask a man if they feel good though, that shit's whack. Anyway, schizo quests. Before we get into the meat of things, I just want to go over some schizo quests. Schizo quests again. Who made this thing? What the I didn't make this, guys. I just get it sent to me by my guy. Anyway, help grandma with her groceries or any old person. Yeah, that's a good quest. Basically, in this life, there's only so much you can do. And it's the simple things that matter, alright? So many of you schizos out here, you low-level schizos, you're trying to obtain power. And this is just not how you do it, okay? They sit in their rooms. You guys are sitting in your rooms, staring at the wall, coming up with narratives about why you're the most powerful and cool dude ever. That shit's gotta stop, okay? So what you're gonna actually do as a schizo quest is you're gonna help grandma with her groceries, or any old person for that matter. Alright? Moving on. Drive the speed limit if they still let you have a car. This one's important. A lot of schizos, at least the low level ones, they think it's God's given gift to them to speed on the road because that's freedom and stuff. You're not going to get anywhere faster, or at least that much faster, going 10 over the speed limit. And even going 10 over the speed limit is pretty dangerous, and you're only going to get there. Say the speed limit is 50 miles per hour, and you go 60. You're only going to get there 1/5 faster. Okay, you have to go 100% of the speed limit. You have to go 100% over the speed limit to get there 50% faster. Think about that. That's stupid. Drive the speed limit, guys. Defeat Archons by denying your lust for power. What this means is, I actually already kind of said it, but basically, schizos, you gotta, when you're chosen to carry this thing, there's gonna be that lust for power in you, and the only way to defeat evil, truly, is to deny it, and just go back to step one, help grandma with her groceries, okay? Just do something nice, alright? Buy your mom some flowers or whatever. Oh, that's important. Yeah, so when they inevitably give you free money, what you're gonna do is you're gonna invest this free money for more money. It's pretty simple. It's kind of like a gift given to you. It's kind of like how they recruit. This is their trial period for you. They give you the bare minimum because they know you don't want to do anything else, or at least if you don't want to do anything else, you have this option to collect disability. This is kind of their purgatory trial for you. If you're gonna be evil and whatnot, they give you free money to work yourself up from there. You can do good with it too, but yeah, invest your money. Brush your teeth. That's a good one. Personal hygiene. This is what this is about. This is a good schizo quest, is brush your teeth at least twice or 3 times a day even. Opt for 3. Twice is the bare minimum, I think. If you're falling behind and you're not schizo, I mean, I feel ya, I hear ya. And if you are schizo, I mean, just do your best to do it twice, okay? Even once is better than none, but I mean, try to aim for twice. Alright, into the meat. As schizos, we inherently understand that there is an unseen world accessible by our minds, whether like a broken radio bleeding in non-typical signals, or an enhanced dish allowing in non-typical signals. You know, same thing. Whether we are advanced or damaged, we have to deal with the fact that we see what they don't. Okay, very simple, straightforward, don't gotta explain much there. What exactly does the schizo see? Typically what the schizo sees is irrelevant. So, to put it bluntly, a schizo might see the infamous hallway of heads, the hallway of decapitated heads, or they might see big giant cats with big eyes walking around. Sometimes they're cartoony. They might see the shadow people in the corner of their eyes, or even directly. That's the way I see the shadow people personally a lot. That's my thing. Typically, what a schizo sees is irrelevant. True. So what a schizo sees doesn't really matter. It's what the schizo feels when they see it. Okay, so the schizo feels the messages. They don't see the messages, they feel them. They get a feeling in them of what the truth is, and they stick with that. And that gets out of hand sometimes. Because the typical message is of grandeur. A lot of schizos, they fall into this system where they think they're the most cool, special guy on the planet, or girl. They think there's some sort of god, or some sort of god slayer above God, or something like that. They just really tap into it. So why does that happen? The schizo understands that reality is layered, and such labels can be placed on anything as anything. Brushing your teeth or slaughtering an evil dragon, what's the difference? Okay, so let me break this down. I can break this down. So basically, a schizo will apply different narratives over what they're seeing. They'll see something and they'll feel that it's something different, right? And that's where doctors will say, oh, there's this disconnect in reality, right? He thinks, I got a soda pop in front of me, so I'll say it like this. Say I'm drinking soda pop here, and all of a sudden I get the feeling that the soda is actually a vial of poison, all right? It's like that. So, drinking a soda pop or drinking a vial of poison? Am I drinking poison? What? No. Well, technically, it's soda pop. And let's get so out. Anyway, that's kind of what it is. So, the schizo understands the extent of the struggle. So, through Gandir, the schizo applies the significance of self-worth to oneself, typically seeing themselves as God or godlike. So, what does this tell us about reality behind the veil? So, I really went into this already. Yeah, they typically see themselves as God or godlike. So when you crack your transmission stream, the brain, as we know, scientists have discovered this, it's well known, the brain is like a radio, and it's receiving a signal and also putting it out, and it's going two ways. We can get into that later, but it's like a radio, and to a schizo brain is kind of like a broken radio. So something is seeping in. So what is seeping in? It tells us that we are in a constant humming reaction with the God source field, which is constantly weaving a narrative. So basically, when you break open your brain, whether it's brain damage, whether it's drugs, or you're just born like that, everything starts to seep in. Everything that's unseen, it will seep in. And that's really what schizophrenia is the seeping in of the non-physical. So this makes us puppets on God's strings, and schizos know it to be so. So basically, this is the idea that everyone or everything is ordained by God, which can only be true. It's the prime mover. Nothing moves without the prime mover. Otherwise, it's cause and effect, guys. So the schizo understands that we're kind of just playing to God's show, free will or not. So we're going to talk about good versus evil. The good schizo surrenders to this knowledge and casts away their free will as much as humanly possible in order to do God's bidding. This is very true. This is very true indeed. Someone who has achieved, I guess you could say, enlightenment, they kind of know that they're just supposed to do whatever God wants, and that's really what enlightenment is. You don't really want anything else besides God's will. The Buddhists will call this nirvana. I think the Taoists also call it nirvana. Basically, nirvana is what they're seeking. I think it's a little more complicated than that. There's a lot of different thinking on this topic, but basically, if you're good, you just want what God wants. It's really that simple. The evil schizo uses this knowledge to an attempt to harm God, but knowing it's impossible, they turn to harm others and themselves. Also true. So the evil schizo, they hate this, so they use their given free will to subvert God as much as possible. And then the confused schizo believes they themselves are God, and in this belief attempt to warp reality to their twisted sense of good. It can be good or evil. So basically these God complex guys who think they control the weather, they run around thinking they're like, what's this one lady thought? This one schizo lady I met, she thought her son was the Lucifer and that she was the queen of reality or something like that, and that she reigned above all. Many such cases, of course, many such cases. Alright, who rules the world? That's pretty evil. You might expect me to say the Jews or something, but it's actually really just evil schizos who have obtained control over their schizophrenia. They understand the truth and narrative, so they spend their days in ritual and counsel with the unseen, channeling their minds together to receive from the unseen that wish to harm. So basically they sit in rooms trying to channel just the raw input of the schizo mind, typically for evil. They specifically want to get the evil narratives, and they amplify this by human sacrifice and other such horrible deeds. Basically, it's not actually, it says it here actually, but it's not actually the ritual that does it. It's the effect it has on the people performing the ritual. It's the emotion that it invokes in them. Typically, it's a room full of receptive schizoids who do this, and if they don't have schizophrenia, if they're not born with it, they induce it with drugs or even brain damage, or they induce it into their offspring via torture. So they'll have their children participate in these horrible things, thus inducing schizophrenia into them so that they can do this too. So what do the good schizos do about this? The good schizo relies on waves of informational hotspot injection points in which all schizos can see. Okay, let me dive into that before we go on, before I lose you. So an informational hotspot injection point is basically these tiny little pings all over real life and the internet, specifically on the internet for this in this case. There are these hotspots, like schizos can sense where to inject their narrative for the most effect, is what I'm saying. Like, we have a signal in us that tells us this is what you'd say and do to get this effect, kind of thing. Like, not specifically that, we'll get into that later. But schizophrenics know when they're in an informational hotspot, and they know when they can transmit data. It's kind of like telepathy, but not really. You literally have to say it or type it out or do something. A lot of schizos who don't have control over themselves tend to do embarrassing things. Even good schizos will do somewhat embarrassing things in these moments to get their message out, and even lead to their own hospitalization. But that's okay. The good schizos don't really care. They just do it anyway. Anyway, good schizos perform more simplistic rituals such as grounding or helping others. You know, kind of like the schizo quests we had at the beginning there. The power is limited as good understands free will, although good schizos... Sorry. The power is limited as good schizos understand free will, and although good schizos have chosen surrender to God, they respect that not everyone walks this path. To gain assistance from the above, schizos must find patience and silence among themselves rather than as a cult, and they must wait for their moment. Yeah, so basically to explain that, yeah, schizos just kind of have to wait for their moment to act. The good ones anyway. They're not out there rushing to make something happen. They're not doing like human sacrifice and evil shit. They must rely on small trails of crumbs God and God's higher servants have left throughout their life. So honestly, the best example I can give about this is David Wilcock. He's going through the Archangel Michael prophecies that he's experienced throughout his life. He's basically doing dream readings of his dreams from the 90s and putting together signals in his life that has led up to now. this is something that the good schizos do, and you'll notice that good balanced schizos, some of them are lucky enough to be so balanced that they can just do this. They still lose themselves a little bit. They get a little, just like any schizo. But this is David Wilcock's actually the prime example of a good schizo doing this, to be honest. But we'll continue on. Why am I telling you this? That's right, guys. I wrote the whole PowerPoint, typos and everything. Because although Exigency Bits at first glance seems to be a shitpost comedy channel turned schizo, it was always intended as a program for psychological warfare for the positive alliance of beings on this earth. An indoctrination process, which has been the description of the channel since its founding. It's always said this is an indoctrination process. It's always said that. Moving forward, bits will continue to be produced by a seemingly normal man at times while still incorporating what seems like unhinged nonsense. Wow. To the few viewers, big and small, these pieces of information and humor will reverberate out further than you might understand. I've done it once, I've done it twice, I've done it 3 times, I've done it 4 times. We'll do it 5 times. Fuck it, we'll do it live. Fuck it. This concludes Schizo Truth Chapter 1. These are going to come out sporadically at times that even I don't know, but they will come out, but only when I find those informational hotspot injections. Other than that, I'm going to be fucking around, doing what's funny, and having a good time. Also, this might just be a bit. I might just be really good at this. I don't know. I mean, obviously I've been to the psych ward, so we'll see.